Here we are coming down the back straight, overtaking one of the back markers, when suddenly... Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Here we are at Oulton Park in the SimLab production series. We're actually racing in the VW Jetta. Normally not a huge field of them, but in this race there was actually quite a lot, which was really nice to see, and led to some really close racing actually. So you see the MX-5 is heading off now, so we're just doing our formation lap, heading round to the start. I didn't qualify particularly well, down in 5th place, but actually it was a really close race, and I'm sort of don't really care about the result. I had a really fun race anyway, so please enjoy. I'm going to skip round to the start. Before we kick this video off, please consider liking and subscribing. Lets me know that you're enjoying the content and that you want to see more from me. Thank you. So here we are at Oulton Park, just going green. Now we don't get the best getaway, as you can see there. The Red Bull liveried Jetta gets much better start than us there. We sort of give him the outside and he has the run on us up the hill, which isn't ideal, but I'm happy to concede that position. However, the white Jetta, I can see in my mirrors now, is on the left side, and I feel like he had a better run into this corner. And admittedly I braked a little bit hard, a little bit early, and bottled it, but I'm glad I did, because he came across and took the racing line, and if I had kept my foot in there, there would have been a bit of a collision. And then you can see I'm on the run down to turn 2. I'm getting done around the outside. I hold my line and actually sort of run him a little bit wide, and luckily we managed to hold that place for now. So carrying on down the straight on this sort of hectic turn 1, a brake on my sort of braking marker there. Luckily the car behind does a similar braking point and actually loses quite a lot of time to me in that corner, and I get the run up the hill here on the white Jetta. Really closed up on him, only 0.2 seconds off him now. I'm not sure I could have dived up the inside. I sort of have a look here, decide against it, compromise my race line a little bit, but recover it, and then we can get nicely and smoothly through this corner. Really following nicely and close, taking really similar racing lines. Nice close racing at the start here, and everyone ahead of me is nice and through clean as well, which is really good, because I know this track can be a bit carnage, especially on the first lap with these tight corners where you're really hard into the braking zones. You can see I can take a slightly different line through those corners, but actually I don't think ultimately it affects my pace compared to the amount of corners. Seems to work quite well for me throughout the lap. I seem to be more consistent as well. Sometimes they would wash wide more than I would, so that was really helpful to me. Yeah, you can see now I'm banging down this corner, and we got a yellow flag ahead. Not sure who came off there. Yep, it's the MX-5 ahead. I think this guy causes me some trouble. No, it's not him. But he goes into the pits anyway, so he's nice and out of the way. Assume he got some damage there, hit the wall. Luckily he's near the end of the lap, so you can just take it straight back in. Now here we are, so this is a really nice corner there. Get a really good run here down the hill. You can see I haven't lost any time to the car ahead of me. We're all racing really closely here. You know, all 3 cars within 0.7 seconds of each other, and actually I do wash a little bit wide out there, which is never ideal, but we're back on the power really quickly there, and the car behind me isn't gaining any time on me down this straight, and I'm not gaining on the car in front of me either, so ideal situation for the second lap around now, that we're not sort of overstressed. But actually I get up on the inside here of the white Jetta, and he does come across here. Really good defence there from him, but now you can see we're all within 0.3 seconds of each other. This is some really close racing going into quite a tight corner. All 3 of us put our braking points in perfectly. Maybe the car behind dived a little bit, but we're all through this set of corners clean, perfect. That's what you want. MX-5 off ahead. Doesn't dive back across the track. Really respectful racing from that guy, so it doesn't actually disturb our lap and our racing here. So we dropped the guy behind a little bit by 0.6 seconds, not much, but you can see I'm washing out on that corner a little bit more than they are, and then I managed to take my nice line through here, and you can see we're still nice and close to the guy ahead. Unfortunately the guys in front are pulling away a little bit, which isn't ideal, but to be expected. They did qualify a little bit quicker than me. And then actually I dived on the brakes there, missed my braking point, and I lost a whole lot of time to the car behind, and then he actually gets a much better run on me up this hill. You can see he's in my right mirror now, but he actually drops back in behind. I don't think he was too interested in lunging up the inside, but he probably could have actually. I think he might have lifted there. And then I don't get the best run through this corner, but neither does the guy behind, and we're just keeping together here. You can see these first couple of laps really close racing. I hadn't got as many practice laps as I'd like on this track, so it wasn't ideal but for the close racing to be straight away, but really enjoying it. This was a really exciting race the whole way through. So the guy behind is still dropping back. He's not interested in diving up the inside here. And we're all running very close through these set of corners. You can see the understeer on this car there and the wheel hop as I'm putting on the power down. I think I probably should watch the power. I think I probably could put down more power if I was a little bit more careful on the power there, just to stop that wheel hop. Nice section through these corners. They feel really good in this car. You do sort of get a little bit of wheel hop coming out of this corner sometimes, depending on how much power you are putting down. So once again, coming back up the back section of the track, we've spread out a little bit now, not too much, but some really good racing here. So we cut ahead a few corners and I'm pulled up real close to the white Jetta in front of me, and I noticed the MX-5 in my mirrors. He absolutely dives me up the inside here. I have to completely yield. I think he, dived way too hard there, and you can see I lost a lot of time to the car in front and the car behind because of his dive. I don't think he had any right to sort of dive from where he did to take that position, and had I not seen him coming, that'd have been a huge collision. And you can see it's costing me through these sets of corners as well, with the Red Bull liveried Jetta, and we get some real close racing through these corners, no contact at all. Ultimately he does get through ahead of me, but there was some really close racing through those three tight corners there, and the fact that he respected the line and I respected his line just led some really close racing, and I'd rather that than racing on my own. Cutting ahead, you can see I'm racing now. I've pulled up to the pack ahead with the Red Bull livery Jetta, so he pulled me along a bit, and you can see now there's four of us in this small little train, and now we've even got one of the green Jetta behind. So now we're racing real close together now, 5 cars. So this is really, really good stuff. A little train, all being pulled along. You can see I dropped back a little bit, purely because I think they do have a little bit faster pace than me. But luckily, because they're fighting, I do manage to stay with them quite nicely. All flying through these corners, all flat out, I think. So that's really, really good racing. That it's all kept quite clean. You can see the Red Bull livery goes to the inside there, has a look, gives me the opportunity to have a look around the outside. He respects my line again, and luckily, no contact. I don't manage to take the position. He got a better run, and then this MX-5 actually came out of nowhere to me. I didn't actually see him at all in my mirrors. I was too busy looking ahead, but you can see he's getting right in the middle of this little pack of Jettas now, and it's absolutely astonishing. There was no contact in this. I nearly ran into the back of the Red Bull liveried, and I'm now up his inside as we're going through these corners together, and the MX-5's diving up the inside there. You can see how close it was between us all here, and then we're going down this straight again towards the hairpin. The MX-5 was close right up, and then is actually going to obviously get round, just being the faster car. But this does give the opportunity with the MX-5 causing carnage, that this green Jetta actually could just beat me to the corner. Really, he just had the better run where all our lines were compromised, and he actually gained, I think, about a second and a half, just purely because of that MX-5 causing complete chaos. And he does put thanks in the chat, which I thought was a bit obnoxious, because actually it was the MX-5's fault. But he locks up into that corner, and we get a bit of time back on him. And here I was hoping to overtake him on. It's just give him a little thanks back, because I thought that was pretty rude. We were all racing really fairly, so stuff like that isn't just needed, in my opinion. So the group ahead's now starting to pull away from me a little bit, and I know he's got the MX-5 up in my mirror. I'm not, a lapped car, so I don't fight him, but I just don't yield the position, just purely because I want to keep up with the guys ahead of me. And diving down into this corner, I hit my braking point, and then the MX-5 actually slams me wide there, so I lose all of my time there. And I'll be honest, I was pretty annoyed. I'll show you what it looks like from the outside. So you can see he comes down the hill and runs wide there, and tags me, knocks me wide. Luckily I got a 0x for that, but I was still pretty annoyed. But that's racing, I suppose. And you can see how much the group ahead pulled away after that little incident. Yeah, unfortunately it did cost me quite a lot of time, that little knock. Although obviously it did no damage to the car, so it wasn't too bad, and it obviously doesn't affect my safety rating, the 0x. But it's just something that frustrated me during the race. Cut to a lap or so ahead, and I was trying to catch this group, and I was doing really well, and actually I got an incredible run into this corner and managed to sling it up the inside of the Red Bull livery Jetta. It was a really close move. I wasn't sure I was going to make contact, but I committed into it, and I think he saw me coming, and luckily he yielded the line. And then diving back down into this corner, he does take it back from me, I think, and then I think he just gets a slightly better run. Oh no, I did actually get a slightly better run out of this corner. I don't think it was enough, and obviously he had that inside line. I believe he does actually send it up into this corner. No, he didn't actually, unfortunately, but I did run a little bit deep there. Just I think I was purely worried about him in the mirrors. You know, not looking at my braking point properly, not thinking about my own running, and I was checking in my mirrors, looking at him the whole time. So yeah, now I'd taken a position back and I'd caught up to that group. You can just see sort of how much time I actually lost with that MX-5 causing the carnage. Maybe lose, you know, a second and a half that I had to regain back over a couple of laps is never ideal, if I'm honest. So nothing much happened for quite a few laps this race. It was mostly me chasing the Red Bull livery. You can see he pulled away, you know, only by a second, but it was, you know, it was fluctuating between a second and half a second. We were racing really closely, and obviously up ahead of us we've got a Solstice that we're lapping. So luckily I can get, I think here, you know, I've got the perfect place to overtake him. And I, for some reason, stupidly, I thought he was moving over to the right, so I pulled over to the left, and that wasn't the case. And I nearly ran into the back of the Solstice there, which would have been completely my fault, and I did lose a lot of time down the straight to him. But luckily I managed to pull really close back in now on that Red Bull livery Jetta, and you know, I'm coming down to this corner, and I think the Jetta in front, yeah, it does overtake him before the chicane, which is really not ideal for me, because obviously I have to follow this slower car now through the chicane, and you can see me just dropping time, and I'm really close to this Solstice. And I'm thinking I need to get around him, and he pulls to the right, which is absolutely fine. Then I'm going up the hill, holding the racing line, steering to the left, and then contact, and bam, straight into the wall. Unfortunately, he just drifted across to the left there and slammed me into the wall. I did take quite a lot of damage there, obviously hitting the tyre wall at quite a significant speed, and then yeah, that's my race over, unfortunately. Down in 9th place. I think there was only 2 laps to go as well, but not damaged enough that I couldn't drive it around to the pits, which is really good. So I sent it round to the pits as quick as I could, because I know there's not many laps left, and I think the car that was in 10th place was possibly a lap down, so, or not even a lap down. So knowing that he's, you know, not a ridiculous amount of time behind, if I can get it to the pits quick enough, I should be able to get out in front of him if the damage isn't too severe. So damage repaired, nice and quick, only took I think 10 seconds. Coming out the pit, and I noticed the number 10 car, it's only 2.5 seconds off. So I was right that he was, you know, away behind, but not horrendous amounts. So you know, the only goal at that point was to beat him, and then I quickly noticed that he was quite a few seconds slower than me, you know, a lap. Although I did run wide there, I think I was just on colder tyres, I guess. I'm not sure how it works when you're coming straight out of the pit, but he certainly wasn't any quicker than me, and I noticed that pretty quickly. Although I do obviously make mistakes on my first corners, I think I was still a bit flustered from the crash, if I'm honest, and couldn't really get both focus back into the race. Knowing though that, yeah, as I lifted the Mustang here, knowing that I can bring it home in a lap's time and finish, I was pretty content with that. I was just a little bit frustrated about being taken out by a back marker. So cutting to the final few corners, I pulled well away from the guy that was the number 10 Jetta, so no worries about him. I did start getting a few latency issues here, which is never ideal. But yeah, bringing it home now in 9th place, never ideal, but after taking such a big hit in the wall, I was, you know, very content with not being last. You can see I sort of lost my rhythm after that, and my corners just weren't very good for the rest of the race. But at that point, I wasn't too bothered. To say very frustrating race for me, but quite an enjoyable one though for the first sort of 9-10 laps. So finishing down in 9th place, never ideal, but still a good race with lots of action and loads of good practice, which I really enjoyed. So yeah, not a bad race, and I hope you enjoyed that one, because I certainly did up until the final few moments, but even then it wasn't that bad, and it's all a learning experience of just being careful of back marks and things like that. But I hope you enjoyed. Please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you, and I hope you watch the next one.